Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel for this episode 20 here on New Frontier with me, Farmer Murphy. Well, we've made it through the winter. It is March 1st, and I've decided to do a update only video. So this video is just going to have an update of our winter activities. We accomplished an awful lot. So I want to take the opportunity to go over that and then explain what we're going to do, because I do have more off-camera work, but this should allow us to have a shorter update video now, and then the next video will be kind of a business as usual one with a further update and some farming in there. I decided to go this route rather than to have one long update video of everything that went on up until planting time. So, where should we start here? Maybe we'll start up here with the animals. Now, all I did was care for the animals through the course of the winter. I didn't add any animals or anything like that. We did get a fair bit of milk from our cows, a little bit from our water buffalo, and kind of the same for the goats. And we did process all of that and sell it. And we made pretty nice sum of money from that. Actually, it was all turned to cheese. Grandpa Walter made his cheese out of it. We have enough milk from our dairy cows that it wouldn't keep the dairy running full time, but we were basically every month be able to process the milk and sell it off. Now, I did mow our grass field. We got a full cutting and then another half cutting, all of which I turned to silage. We got a total of 230 bales that we were able to sell, and I held on to them till peak price, and we were able to get like $1 million for all of that silage. So that was pretty darn nice. I did upgrade our mowers though, and I went to this windrowing setup. You can see it's kind of tucked in the back there, the Pottinger ones. So for silage in particular, that saves us having to windrow. So that is a very nice indeed. That saves some time. And I had to buy a straw shredder to get straw into our animal pens. When we filled the pens up before, I had used where is it? Where did I tuck it? Oh yeah, the mixer up here just as a shredder. But when we needed the straw, it actually had TMR in it. So I just went ahead and bought a shredder that we could use standalone. Oh, and a further update. The Joskin trailer had an update and it's working just fine now. So we were able to use that. So that's another plus. I'm pretty happy about that. Yes, so I think that's pretty much everything up here. The animals are all doing fine, but like I said, I didn't add any this time. We are going to add a number of animals here. That's some of the off-camera work I'm going to do. But we'll talk about future plans here more in a little bit. Now, Grandma and Grandpa Walter were busy throughout the fall and into the winter, and they have their little hidey hole built here. Now they picked this location. It might not have been the location I picked, but you can see they've got their rocking chairs out there. They wanted to sit here by the pond and listen to the water run and have their coffee in the morning, watch the birds on the pond and so on. So hey, it's their choice. It's not a bad place. It's just kind of this view here, really good. This view here, maybe not so good. But maybe what we can do is throw some small trees and stuff in there to block it out for them, actually. It's probably a good idea. We may do that. But they got a pretty nice setup here. They got it's not really a garage, but a carport, I guess you call it, to park their vehicle in. You can see they're not around right now. And then a backyard here. Got a little storage shed and a barbecue and a table for enjoying their barbecued meals. So that's a pretty nice little setup they've got here, I think. And we can go in the house here. Actually, we'll go in, change modes here. It'll be a little easier to see. So they got a kitchen, I guess an entryway, you'd call it, living room, bedroom. Was this door open? No. Oh, let me check this out. A little, loft it looks like. Oh, cool. Oh, what? There's another room up here. What's this one? Oh, an office. Oh, a bedroom. Huh, I actually never came up here. It's all right. Oh, get swung around here, back down and out. Alrighty. So that's their little home away from home. Like I said, they still got their place in town. They're keeping that for the time being anyways, but that's their place when they come out here and, you know, want to get away from the bachelor pad up there, I guess. All right, what next? You know what? Just give me a moment and I am going to jump into flight mode and we'll fly around and take a look at some stuff that way. Well, this isn't flight mode, as you can tell. This is old international mode, but I thought we should stick with the construction theme and show you the other construction projects that have happened in our community before we get to the destruction activities that we did around the farm. So, as you can see there in front of us, the shop added a shop out here, a proper repair shop. They've put that in over the course of the winter, so that is nice to see. And they've now got a mechanic on staff full time here to look after, the community's needs as far as servicing vehicles, not just farm vehicles, but other vehicles as well. And you can see that I don't know the particulars on this, if the shop put that house up or the kind of the manager of the shop facilities out here put it up. But in any event, there's a new house there. Actually, let's snoop. Okay, snoop a little bit, drive in. So that was put up over the winter. So another new residence. Well, technically it's replacing an old residence, but yeah, pretty nice place. And if we turn around here, you should be able to see another big addition. There was a gas station added to our community. The only opportunity for gas was that bulk buy station there that the shop was running. And so they felt that there was an opportunity here for a gas station. So that was put in over the course of the winter. So we have a place to purchase fuel, like I said, other than the bulk buy point. So that's pretty nice. Must be put in by foreigners. I don't recognize that writing. And there was another residence added here in our little community. I believe these are the folks that brought in the gas station, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But they added a nice little place. Oh, they even put solar panels on their roof. One of those kind of people. But yeah, they got a nice little spot there. Got a garage. But that was it. I think that's a pretty good amount of construction in this small area for one season basically. So the community is growing. So we'll run down here, and you know what? I think I might advance time a little bit, guys, just so we can get out of this fog. And then we'll jump into flight mode and we'll take a look at what was taken out versus what was put in. So let me do that, and I'll meet you at the farm here in just a little bit. All right, we are back here on the farm. We are at the edge of our canola field, and this was where our property ended. But I did buy this field across the way, or this plot across the way. And that is where Grandpa Walter and I started our logging. And we ended up logging all of the trees off of this area with the tree harvester. We did not sell any of those trees, They were all hauled down to the sawmill and put in piles, and we ended up with two large piles of logs, a little bit bigger than they were previously. Actually, you know what? We're in flight mode. Let's quit talking about it. Let's just jump up here. We can fly down there pretty quick and have a look at those bad boys. I think there's a tiny little bit left of one log pile. Hey, oops. Sorry, that was some bad flying. So, yeah, that's these are the two original piles. This one was just about gone. So we built that one up. I only added one load to that one, and then this pile here was about the same size as the other ones, a little bit smaller. But that all came from that one area, and we logged those off with a tree harvester, and you can actually see our tree harvesters parked over there in the shed. Didn't have any better place to put it, so it's tucked away over there. So let's go back up here. Let's head back to where we were. I think we can just stay in the air, actually. So that is this plot here. I'm not sure where our land ends. Probably right about the center where we're looking there, I would say approximately. So we are going to make a field out of this. I am not sure what we'll put in that field. We'll decide that next episode, but that's not going to be joined to the other one. That's going to be a standalone field. Now, our property extends a little bit over this way. Now, not that entire cleared section. Some of that was just naturally open, and we didn't log that off or anything. So that um, to be just a little strip there we could use. My original thought when I bought the land early on is I would make a small hay field out of that, plow it up and make a grass field and use it just for hay. But I've changed my mind on that a little bit, and I'll explain more on that as we go along. Now, when Grandpa Walter and I were working on here and getting this done, I was talking about the time it was taking and if I would actually be able to achieve my goals this winter of getting the land freed up for our use. Uh, Wise old Grandpa Walter that he is, he said, did I want to be a logging operation that did farming on the side or do farming with a logging operation on the side? And of course it was the latter. And so he said, well, why are we doing this then? Why don't we hire it out? And so that's what we did. Got a hold of a contractor and they came in and they did the rest of the logging. They took the little bit of logs that was left here across the road. And then they did this area here behind our canola field out to the edge of our property line. And you can kind of see it's a fairly straight line of trees there. Um, so that is our property line. So they extended this out and then they did the same thing over here where our cornfield is going to be. We do know what's going in here. I had them take just a little bit. I shall go down just slightly here. I had them take just a little bit out of this edge here, not a whole lot. Um, and we're going to expand this field straight back and we're going to take a little bit of this area in here and we'll take a little bit of the area for the field over there and leave kind of like a staging area in the middle. And of course, went back to the property line here. So that is what the logging company did. And then they also took out the trees along here and kind of straightened this edge out a little bit. Now, it's not that I like square fields. I really like them in FS19 because it was good for the workers. But I wanted to kind of square things up a little bit anyways on here just because I have plans to use some big equipment and it's just a little bit easier if the fields have at least, some straight edges to them. If it doesn't matter if we're going to use workers for everything, but we're not. We're going to run it ourselves sometimes, so it's just a little handier. And then we cleaned a few trees out of here to expand our grass field. And you can see we've gone about as far as we can there because, well, not only our animal pens are there, but you can see the land gets pretty rugged. But there were a few trees in there. You can see they're not that naturally that dense in there. And then, of course, this corner here. Now, Grandpa Walter and I did take a few trees out of here with the harvester, but we mostly let the logging crew take them out. And the same back here. I kind of forgotten we had some land available back here. Now, as it turned out, there weren't a lot of trees in this area, kind of like our other field, but there were a few scattered around in here. So I let the logging company take them out of here just to kind of open this up a little bit. Now, this is where we're going to put kind of like our local productions. Things like grandmother's flour crusher and bakery are going to go here. That's why I thought they might want to put their house back up in here someplace so we could put the productions close to it. But no, they wanted it down there and they knew the productions were going to have to go up here. So that's what's going in here. Also, we're going to put in a TMR mixer. So we won't be making hand mixes anymore. And that was another reason why I went with the windrowing mowing setup, because we're just going to cut the grass and we're going to throw it in a fermenter slash dryer, and we're going to make our own mixes that way because we're going to, need way more TMR than we can keep up with just that little mixing wagon. So that operation is going to go up here. But whatever we don't use in the time being, we'll mow. I think we'll just leave it as base game grass and we'll mow it and throw it into our productions. And that's kind of what I'm going to do down here in this area. I don't think it's not a very big area across the other side of the road here. So I think I'll just mow what we have access to and throw it in our productions for now. And I think this is the next target plot here, this one. Interestingly, I never even thought about it at the time, but this plot here is twice as much as what this one was. And I think that's just because of the volume of trees that are on it. But anyways, I think that brings you up to speed there. So let's get our feet back on the ground here. And I'm going to turn off flight mode and I'll join you again in just a second and we'll carry on with this discussion. Well, there we go. Feet back on the ground, now moving at a normal speed. So the next logical question then is, Farmer Murphy, how much money did you make? Well, we had to give up some funds because we didn't log the trees ourselves and we had to get a logging company in. So we had to share that. But if we turn on the HUD here, bang, $13 million is where we're sitting. I was not expecting that at all. And nothing nefarious or cheaty went on. In fact, it was exactly the opposite. Now, like I said, you saw those, we had about those 3 equal piles of logs off of here. We didn't sell any trees. Then they took the few trees from over here, but where the big money came from is up here in this area where they straightened out the edges here on our barley and canola field and up on the cornfield. The trees are, well, you can just see how densely packed they are. I got 10 million liters of wood chips out of there. And that's how we simulated the logging company. His tree devourer went to work and I just devoured all the trees and wood chipped them. Now I did keep the wood chips and I sold them at the best price, but I sold them at the lowest price on the map, which basically was a farmer's market, which was just under $1,000 per 1,000 liters. If I had sold them at the Game and Joy's wood warehouse where we've been selling all our wood, that sell point that we put in, so we could keep selling our logs, they didn't all have to go through the sawmill. I would have got 40% more. It was about like $1,400 per thousand. If we'd actually logged it like my original plan was and cut it with a tree harvester, as long as that would have taken, we would have doubled our money. We'd be sitting over $20 million right now. So I really struggled with what to do. I was not expecting that. I was honestly expecting like we have like $3 million or something like that to spend. I also didn't count on the money we made from the sale of our wood products and then now our cheese and of course all the silage because we made over $1 million. We were sitting at over 1 million before we sold the wood chips. So but I've kind of come to terms with it. We earned it. The trees were there by the map maker, and that was my goal. It was I wanted to get access to that land, and we did. And we made as little money as possible, other than just destroying the trees and throw them away. So I don't think that's you know you wouldn't do that either. So it is what it is. I wanted to move ahead. Well, by golly, we can move ahead. That's why we can do all of that construction off camera and uh, and I am going to get that done. But we are not done with the show and tell. Let's go up here to the shop because it wasn't all money coming in. Some did go out. Like I showed you the mower and the straw blower. We talked about that. We bought those new. I don't know if I mentioned that, but they were brand new items. And like I said, the mowers are really going to help us because with the facility we build for drying and fermenting our grass so we can make TMR, we won't need to windrow at all anymore or TED, so we can actually sell those items off. But in here, look at that bad boy. That came up in the used market 50% off. It was my end game tractor. Now I bought this before all our money rolled in, or if I'd have really thought about it where we were going to be, but I wasn't aware at that point, I would have just waited and bought it new. But I bought it used. It was 50% off. So we have that now that we can put to use on the farm. That impacted something else that we're going to talk about in just a second. And I bought another truck, a truck that we can use to haul our grain in the future, but also haul our animal. We're just going to add a whole bunch of animals after we get our construction done. And so we're going to need to haul them in a large animal trailer. So pick that up used as well. Now there was another item. Oh, shoot. Oh, well, you know what? We'll do it in the store menu. That's just as good. I bought came up used. You'll notice you didn't see a cedar sitting in there. I did sell our cedar because this seed tank came up used, part of the case, an older case air drill system. And I thought, well, that's perfect. We'll buy that. We'll upgrade to it. We can pull it with our current tractor. And, this isn't too bad if we have to buy it new. And it gave us 9 meters, and we were at 6 before, which is a 50% increase. But then the quad track came along, and I thought, well, geez, that's a bit of an overkill. And what happened is, as luck would have it, like so I had really good luck in the store. This came up for sale used, and so it's sitting down in the shop there. And so I bought it. It wasn't a tremendous deal. It was 63 grand, but still, it came up used, so I bought it. The mate to it has not come up for sale yet, but you know what? I think we can afford to buy it new. I don't know what you guys think, but I think we can. And that'll give us 18 meters of seating and a reason to bring the quad track out of the shed. So I did sell that one back, and when this one came up, bought it after the quad track. Let's go back. I'll show you one more thing I'm going to buy, likely. Where are cultivators are up here. I'm thinking we're going to buy this Borgo cultivator. Now I have a mod in that allows me to set the depth on cultivators. So I can set it for shallow cultivation, or as a subsoiler. So this will allow us to have it plow our fields, like create our new fields. And when we do our cornfields, be able to plow it up with that. And it's a fairly good size. It's, what is this sucker? Not 12 meters. I guess there are bigger. We could have gone with the Bednar one here. That's 18 meters, but we're using that on the other series. So we'll use this one. We'll give it a try. Now, that is a PC only mod, but I don't mind too much doing that, because there is modded cultivators out there that have that feature that are made for console. But basically, that script mod functionality is just built right directly into the cultivator. So they do exist for console. And that is kind of a realistic thing, that you can set your depths. So I am going to buy that. And that's what I'll use to plow out our fields. I am going to keep our, where is it? Tucked over here, our 9 meter plow, just for doing some of the fine work on the edges. So I'm still going to keep that. I'm not going to sell that off. But I'll do a picture in picture of that at work and share that with you next episode. And I think that is everything. Like I said, a little bit shorter episode. Get all this update nonsense out of the road. There will be some updates that we need to go over with the further construction projects, and they're going to take me a little time. Like I said, I know what I want to do. I just don't know what mods or how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to start working on that now. And when I get all that done, we'll get on with the next episode. And with that, I think I will leave you there. But I will promise you this: our bank account will not be at 13 million when you guys come back, but we are certainly going to spend some more money when you do get here as well. With that, I'll leave you there. If you're still with me, I really appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, I encourage you to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you want to see when other content like this lands, hit that old notification bell. But for this episode here on New Frontier, it's Farmer Murphy signing off.